Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Tuesday, February 8th. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. If you are just joining us for the first time, here's a little setup as to what we do here. These are the top stories that all of you are reading and clicking on from WKYC.com. So you have, in effect, chosen this newscast. So let's get to it with what people are clicking on today. First up, there is an Ohio woman who has been reported missing in Arizona during a cross-country trip. This is according to Peoria, Arizona police. It's 31-year-old Jennifer Barnett. She has not been heard from since February 2nd. She was traveling in a silver Dodge Durango with an Ohio license plate of JLV 9603. Again, that's a silver Dodge Durango with an Ohio license plate JLV 9603. Police say that her family got a call that she might be in danger and that her mother, Brenda Hughes, wrote on Facebook that the last messages from her were very disturbing. She is very concerned. I'll give you a little backstory here. She and her boyfriend, Gary DePriest, were apparently taking a cross-country camping trip. Her cell phone is no longer on, and neither of them have been active on social media over the past several days. Now, this woman, Jennifer Barnett, again 31, is described as being 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing about 160 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Not known what she was last wearing. We do have a photo of her on WKYC.com. Anyone with information about Jennifer Barnett's whereabouts is asked to call the Peoria Police Department at 623-773-8311. Again, that's 623-773-8311. Now, switching gears back to Northeast Ohio, restaurant and bar owners are surprised after the city of Cleveland has made a surprising recommendation about the hotel permission to serve alcohol late during the NBA All-Star Game. There were 87 establishments that applied for a waiver to those usual operational hours that requires things to close at 2 a.m. Only 7 of those were approved. All 7 of them were hotels. Now, the city sent a statement to our 3 News Brandon Simmons that said it was a difficult decision. They made it out of an abundance of caution for health and safety, also discussed with the COVID-19 task force and the Department of Public Safety and the chief of police. Here is a statement from them. This is a different time from the RNC, the Republican National Convention, and MLB All-Star. We're in the midst of a pandemic that has a significant impact on the city and its public safety protective services. While we want people to enjoy themselves, we must lead by example when asking citizens to enjoy themselves with caution. That's from Chief Drummond. Chief Safety Director Howard said the same, that they're asking people to participate in NBA All-Star activities responsibly by wearing masks, getting vaccinated and boosted, and practicing social distancing. Now, the decision to recommend only hotels came after the applications were in. This was based on the increase in COVID-19 cases and protocols for NBA All-Star Weekend. That's according to the city. So again, a lot of people not happy about this decision to only recommend those waivers to be able to stay open to 4 a.m. for 7 downtown area hotels and their establishments that serve alcohol. Now, more news for Northeast Ohio area, for the Northern Ohio area. Peloton will no longer be moving forward with its Ohio factory, and the CEO has stepped down from the company. This is with lost revenue and a loss of fitness subscribers. A Peloton spokesperson confirmed to WTOL, that's our partner station in Toledo, that the Peloton Output Park in Troy Township in Wood County will be sold once the construction is complete on the outside of it. Now, it was just in May of last year, so not even a year ago, that Peloton had announced it would build a $400 million facility on the more than 200-acre space there, but those plans changing now. Now, construction was continuing this morning. Northwest Ohio commercial real estate developer Brian McMahon thinks that it's still a good spot for a large company. He says that one of the reasons Peloton picked that location is it has strength in accessibility and utilities, access to the rail, and that something that's in demand in that market right now is spec buildings, which are buildings that can be easily adapted for someone that wants to be in that particular area. Today also, Peloton announced that CEO John Foley is stepping down as part of a large restructuring of the business, and the company will be eliminating 2,800 jobs. And yes, that does mean jobs here in Ohio, where there's people are setting up that equipment, delivering that equipment, those kinds of things for people who are using the Peloton. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Ohio. These numbers, they swing. They really do. And today we're seeing 4,485 new cases from the Ohio Department of Health. We look back to just 6 days ago on February 2nd, there were 8,601 new cases of COVID-19. A couple of days ago, they were in the 2,000s. Now we're back at almost 4,500. So again, swinging quite a bit here. The total number of confirmed deaths related to COVID-19, 34,592. Now, we are seeing a decrease in hospitalizations and people being treated in the ICU. So that's positive news. Right now, 2,992 people hospitalized in the state of Ohio being treated for COVID. And out of those people, 594 of them are being treated in an ICU. Now, we switch gears to different health and medical information. Our Austin Love is sharing the story of his mom who is battling a rare cancer, and his mom, how she finds her inspiration to move forward. It's part of something that's going on with Austin Love and Dave Chudowski on the morning show on Go. They are having a sort of Olympic competition to raise money for different charities. I'll tell you about Dave's charity in just a moment, but Austin's is the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. He's doing it in honor of his mom. She's a retired educator, a grandma, mom to 3 boys, including Austin. She's a wife, and she lives with multiple myeloma. Now, this is a rare form of cancer. It impacts the plasma cells in bone marrow, and she's been fighting it, Jill Love, since December of 2018. It's so rare that less than 35,000 people are diagnosed each year. It's not curable, but it is treatable right now. And she says that the more she's gone through treatments over the last 3 years, there's a lot more hope. And right now, thankfully, her cancer is in remission. That's thanks to weekly chemotherapy treatments and other treatments. And she says hopefully that remission lasts for a long time, and it's her faithful foundation that gets her through this. So Austin is hoping to win this competition against Dave Chudowski to provide a little bit of support for that organization. Dave Chudowski is competing for Gigi's Playhouse. They've got locations in several places. They do have one here in Cleveland, and he's doing it in honor of his nephew. His nephew Garrett is 8 years old, and his nephew has Down syndrome. And what Gigi's Playhouse is it's a Down syndrome achievement center, and it provides programming and support for people with Down syndrome and their families. And Garrett loves to visit Gigi's Playhouse in his hometown of Indianapolis. There are 55 locations, again, one here in Cleveland, and their vision is to create a world where everyone is accepted and embraced, and that's part of their work that they do. So Dave and Austin will face off in a competition, and they will have 3 events. There will be curling, that'll be on Wednesday morning, a hockey shootout, that's on Thursday morning, and speed skating. That will be on Friday morning. And the winner of each round will be rewarded with $200 toward the charity of their choice. And that's coming from Austin Calvetta of the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. Now, if you want to help and get in on it, we do have a link if you would like to donate to either of these causes. That's on WKYC.com. You can check that out, and you can check those competitions out between Austin and Dave every morning for the rest of this week on Go. And if you don't have access to regular television, you can stream those live in the WKYC app. So don't forget about that. Now, speaking of the Olympics, if you were watching men's figure skating, the short program last night, you saw Nathan Chen break a record. He made history. He had the new world record score of almost 114 points, 113.97 points in the men's short program. That was in Beijing. We watched it last night. If you want to watch that program back, you can do it on WKYC.com. Next up, it's the men's free skate, and this is the event that will determine if Nathan Chen of Team USA brings home the gold. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And if you have been watching the ice skating going on, you probably know about Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir, but people have been Googling all about them. People are searching. They want information about them. They've been calling the sport of figure skating together since the 2014 Olympics in Sochi. Fans love them. They work with sportscaster Terry Gannon. They quickly became NBC's main commentating team for figure skating. So here's who they are. Tara Lipinski won the women's figure skating gold medal at the 1998 Winter Olympics in Nagano, Japan. Johnny Weir is a 2-time Olympian, 3-time U.S. men's figure skating champion, and the 2008 world bronze medalist. And they are so fun. They just have so much personality, and they really call it like they see it. They say some very interesting things while they're doing the commentating, and you can follow along in their adventures. They have a joint Instagram account. It's Tara and Johnny with an H, Johnnny. You have to follow them. They are They are a good follow. They are great. Switching gears to the sports here in Northeast Ohio, the Cleveland Cavaliers have finalized the deal. They've acquired guard Cris LeVert in a trade with the Indiana Pacers. So here are a couple things you need to know about LeVert here in Cleveland now. These are from our 3 News sports analyst, Ben Axelrod. You know, he's a native of Columbus, Ohio. He starred at Pickerington Central High School. He played alongside current Houston Rockets forward Jashawn Tate and NFL linebacker Taco Charlton. He is a 3-star recruit. He had initially committed to college at Ohio University in Athens, but after head coach John Gross left Athens for Illinois, he decided to decommit. That's when he went to Ann Arbor and he signed to play for then Michigan and future Cavs head coach John Beilein. Now, in 4 seasons with the Wolverines, he had an incredible time there. He had a foot injury that brought his career there to a premature end, but fast forward to today, he's here in Cleveland now. Check out more information about him on WKYC.com. And as we look ahead to NBA All-Star selections, we actually look back. We look at Joakim Noah and his first thoughts of Cleveland with the Chicago Bulls. You know, it was in 2010 when he was here for the NBA playoffs, and they were playing the Cavaliers, and he said he didn't go outside. He just stayed in his hotel room. He didn't want to go outside because it was just a bunch of factories. And then later he was asked if he regretted his comments, and this is the video that you might have seen on social media over the past day. He said, "No, not at all. You think Cleveland's cool? I've never heard anybody say I'm going to Cleveland on vacation. What's so good about Cleveland?" So the Bulls had him recreate that press conference situation because we got a couple Bulls on the NBA All-Star team. So in order to celebrate that, they played the clip of him saying that, and then they followed that up with Chicago's 2 All-Stars highlights, followed by a new take from him. And he said, maybe Cleveland is not so bad. Have fun in Cleveland, guys. I'll be in Mexico with a margarita. That makes sense because he's retired now. But the Chicago Bulls having a little bit of fun. Noah swallowing his words a little bit there with the Bulls having 2 players on the All-Star team this year. Coming up very, very soon here in Cleveland. What also is coming up is potentially the end of the road for Ohio native Shanae Ankney. I'll tell you what, this season of The Bachelor has truly been the Shanae Ankney show. She's from Sycamore, Ohio. That's about 3 hours southwest here of Cleveland, and she had quite the performance yesterday. She basically apologized to women for some of her antics and then admitted to producers in a one-on-one on-camera interview. So no edits here. It was on camera the whole time. She said that she was lying. She said she deserved the Oscar, she deserved the Emmy, she deserved the Golden Globe, and she deserved the Rose, and that she was performing better than Meryl Streep. Lots of drama. There was a group date this week. She wasn't even on the group date, but the idea of the group date was for them to playfully roast each other, but several of the women took the opportunity to throw jabs at Shanae. This was after that apology, and of course at the time they didn't see her saying that the apology was a lie. But then Shanae got selected for a 2-on-1 date. And if you are familiar with the Bachelor franchise, you know historically at the end of a 2-on-1 date, at least one of those women goes home. So we will have to wait until next week to see what happens. But something else that we did see this week was Rachel Rakia, who is an Ohio University graduate. She won the group date rose after that roasting situation with Clayton, and he said he's thinking about her all the time, even when he's not with her. So seems like things are really heating up for Rachel. A lot of attention on the 2 Ohio ladies for 2 very different reasons. Come back next week and we'll see what happens when we recap it next week. Before we let you go here, it is February. That is Black History Month here in Northeast Ohio. We have several ways that you can celebrate and honor the life and legacy and the Black history and culture that we have here in the country. And so one of those ways to do that is through celebrations and entertainment. So we've got this article on WKYC.com with 13 ways to celebrate Black history here in Northeast Ohio. One of them is at the Caramoo House. They have the Impact of Shuffle Along. This is all month long. It's a virtual, on-demand, and free musical documentary about Shuffle Along. It's presented in partnership with the Musical Theater Project. It's a multimedia concert with songs from the first ever jazz musical and tells the story and history behind that groundbreaking production. And it's celebrating 100-year anniversary. That was in 2021, so just past that 100-year anniversary. Also, at Playhouse Square, February 22nd through the 28th, there is Rhapsody in Black. This is a virtual one-man show. It's written and performed by Leland Gant. Details his personal journey to understanding racism in America. There's an on-demand show, and there will be a live Q&A with Mr. Gant on February 28th at 7 p.m. We have links for that on WKYC.com. And if you want to check out commemorative murals, meaningful art installations, and educational exhibits and learning lectures, we also have those linked on WKYC.com. So make sure you take a look at that. It is February 8th. We are already well into Black History Month. So make sure you take a look at that so you can take advantage of these opportunities while they are available. You know, some of them are here year round, but some of them only available for this month. So about 20 more days to take advantage of those. That's it for your 3 News Now update today for Tuesday, February 8th. I will see you all back here tomorrow with more 3 News Now.